Hi everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful time. Today I would like to share my experience and review of this Topping PA5 fully balanced Class D little amplifier. This is a palm size amplifier that you can either use it on your desktop or even your full-blown hi-fi system. According to Topping, it has a dynamic power of up to 140 watts at full on load. Probably they are based on the TPA chips, 300 series TPA chips inside, but it's fully balanced design, so Topping doesn't reveal publicly what chip they are using, so that is the only Topping can answer that. This one retail for $349 in US dollars. It has a 2 input using the balanced TRS jack inputs, so it doesn't have RCA inputs or regular standard XLR inputs. So what I'm using is the Monoprice, the TRS to XLR connected directly from my Sony HAP-Z1-ES music server. There is no remote control or anything that you can play around with it. If you want to use remote control, you have to set gain setting on this to like probably maximum gain setting, and you can control the volume from your DAC. It has the external power supply with dedicated jack that you can lock it for the power input. This PA5 volume control knob gain setting at around 12 o'clock position will get me around like 60 to 65 dB loudness in my room using this CSS Audio 2DDX tower speakers. And if I use this JBL L100 Classic 75th Anniversary Edition, it will get me around like 65 to like 68 dB of loudness, or close to 70 in 12 o'clock dead center. If I want to get to my reference level, it's around like 1 p.m. position, 65 to 75 dB range, so which is more than loud enough in this room. This room is not small, not big, just a medium sized room. I went through a bunch of different music in this room, listening with my JBL or the CSS speakers, and this Topping PA5 can totally produce very good room filling sound quality. But for the power and control, it may not be the best thing that you can have, but they only sell for $350. So average $350 price point, that range of an amplifier will probably most likely never will have a absolute bass quality and control of your speakers, okay, let alone rated power or the specification, whatever the specs that suggest, because in real world experience everything is different than the bench tested specs. So in my room it's totally fine. It can play loud without noticeable distortion. Even if I set the gain level all the way to the max position, I don't see any noticeable distortion or unwanted noises, okay, playing with either of the speakers. If I use the CSS 2DDX towers, maximum gain position, it will get me around like 95 to 97 dB range of a maximum loudness level. That's it. That's it. It will not get any louder than that in this setup with the CSS Audio 2DDX tower speakers. This amp, what really impressed me was the way that it can produce really good stereo image with nice instrument separation, good amount of spacious, airy sound in upper frequency range. Mid range may not be the best one that you can have. That's the typical Class D amplifiers issue. Okay, mid-range, no matter how good Class D amplifier can be, they cannot replicate good Class AB or Class A or tube amplifier in terms of quality and high quality refinement and accurate mid-range sound reproduction. But saying that is not bad at all. It's very much acceptable and enjoyable experience. Okay, this amp is very transparent. Okay, I try with a few different components. So as I stated, I play directly with my music server. That's what you will hear in my sound sample. I also try with Gusted X26 R2R DAC, as well as the Musician Audio Aquarius R2R DAC. So those a little bit more expensive DACs can enhance the overall sound reproduction and the refinement and precision notes and all that, you know, the whole 9 yards. But the way that it can reflect and reproduce from this PA5 is colorless, meaning whatever the DACs or equipment that you pair them, it will deliver it back to you as it get provided. So that is a really good thing in my opinion. The transparency of this unit is very good. So basically, the soundstage is not as wide as my main amplifier can produce in this room. Okay, not as deep. As usual, I went through a lot of different music, you know, a lot of music that I used to listen, and some of my favorite tracks and some of my favorite artists that I play with. So what I noticed is it can totally reproduce the music as it recorded. This PA5 will deliver it back to you as it received. It's very transparent in terms of redelivering and reproducing the sound. For example, the Cat Stevens Moon River track, it will comes in, like intro from right speaker from my left when I'm sitting there, and then it will comes in, it will shift through the middle, image will shift and then transfer to the left speaker on my right, and then a Cat Stevens vocal will comes in from the center top around here like he was standing here. So that kind of stereo image and the way that they record it is properly reproduced as if you are listening to the performance. So that kind of transparency and accuracy that it can provide. In terms of control and dynamic control and power and delivery, maybe not the best that you can have, but it's only $350, so I'm not complaining. Still, I still have to mention that because since I review these products, so I have to mention what I experienced. In terms of delivering, overall frequency range is very good, but the depth and skill and width may not be the best. Although it may be one of the best in the class in terms of Class D amplification amplifier that you can buy, the bass control, probably that's the weakest link for this PA5 amplifier. Bass is there, is deep and very well pronounced, but definition is a bit lacking in terms of separation and spaciousness in lower frequency range. Vocals and voices very accurate and neutral and accurately reproduce. High frequency, I would love to have a little bit more separation between the notes. So that is, I'm just stating my preference. The way that it can produce, I don't think anything wrong with it because it has a great sound and great price in my opinion, because overall power to noise and everything is probably one of the really good one that you can have at this moment. You might ask me what kind of speakers I would recommend. So basically, you want to have at least 90 dB sensitivity and above to get the best performance pairing with this PA5 amplifier, because then you will have a better bass control and maybe a little bit better dynamic attack, all that compared to lower sensitivity rated speakers, such as speakers like KEF LS50, or some small speakers will have a really low impedance. So which is, I mean, it can play if you don't play loud, but you cannot, you will not receive and you will not create impactful, dynamic, highly dynamic sound with great stereo image. Another thing is this one doesn't have any subwoofer output, so you will have to connect with the tiny binding post with using the speaker cable. So that's a little downside for some people. It can produce good amount of quality bass with very good sounding, sound quality, other than aforementioned some weakness. Everything is good. I mean, one of the things that really impressed me was the maximum gain position. There is no distortion as far as humanly can hear. So that is one of the most impressive things. Not many amplifiers can do that. So I would like to read you some of my listening notes here. So here's I stated, perfect sounding little amplifier for the price and performance. Performance of it exceeded my expectation for the sound quality that it can produce. Accurate sound signature. Best of all, impressively good stereo image and depth. An example, when I'm listening to Joe Cocker, You Are Beautiful, his voice is in dead center, slightly forward, and layers of the music is nicely separated with musical presence, and presentation is just beautiful and enjoyable to listen. This PA5 is neutral and almost in colorless range. Will reproduce the music as it recorded. That's how I noted. So PA5 sound great with most music, but when I'm listening to hard rock and heavy metal music, this PA5 definitely needs more power and control to be able to produce the impactful sound. For the money, it's still a great buy. In the top end, I would love to have a slightly more precise and a little bit sharper, more rounded notes and overall frequency range. That is my preference. Nonetheless, it's still very good buy. So that is my listening notes and quick summary. So basically, I mean, this amplifier is very good buy in my opinion for $350. If unless you want to play ridiculously loud, like club level loudness in like up to 105 dB range. So if you only listen to your music between 65 to 85 dB, 90 dB range, this one should not have any problem providing you with good quality music in average size room, okay? Unless you have super big room to fill the sound. So that's my advice. So this one can totally satisfy you in terms of sound quality, especially if you listen your music with your desktop system, or if you listen pretty close, like if you listen from like sitting position from like 6 to 10 feet away from your system where your speaker is, then this one can provide you with very good, really nice soundstage and very good sound quality. For $350 is very good buy in my opinion. The way that it can produce a sound is, I mean, not as good as the top-end Class AB amplifier that you can have for around $1,000 range, but in terms of sound quality, I mean, I don't see anything that also operation temperature is very cool. It's just tiny bit of warm in there, nothing major. Even after I play very loud, so which is very good design, and it has this ventilation vents on the side of the cabinet or the enclosure. So that's it, my friend. That is my review. I mean, I totally enjoyed this one, listening all my music. You can try any kind of music, you can play with it, and probably you will fall in love with it. So Highly recommended, my friend. Thank you very much for watching and happy listening.
To So great. On the bass, Mr. Torigoe Keisuke-san. On the guitar, Orima Yosuke-san.